Warning! This video blog or vlog could contain harsh opinions or foul language. If you do not appreciate said content or material, well, you could just fuck right off.
Greetings, internet people. Ranting Ramsey here. How are you all doing today? I wasn't doing too badly until I decided, like a fucking moron, to sit down and watch the second round of the presidential debates of the 2012 election. I know. That was stupid of me. Call it morbid curiosity. Call it masochism. Call it what you will. I still sat down and watched it, and these are my thoughts and reflections, mainly on the last 30 minutes of it, because the first hour of it was somewhat mind-numbing. But then I really kind of like pulled out of that and started really seriously paying attention for the last 30 minutes, and I was just blown yeah, the fuck away. One thing I will point out at the very beginning, in just the first 30 minutes, Obama called out Romney on blatantly lying 5 fucking times. Unfortunately, Obama's own facts and truths weren't quite as up to par. Sure, he didn't outright lie as much as Romney did, but his puppeteers didn't do the greatest job of speaking the facts in his ear either. Oh, wow. Did I make some sort of implication there? Fuck. Both candidates pretty much lied their asses off once again. But the real bullshit factor came to me when the debate turned to immigration. This is when I really started to go, wait a minute, what? It was, I can't remember what the exact question was. I didn't write it down, I'm sorry. But Romney had the initial response to the person who asked the immigration question. And Romney's interpretation of immigration is exactly Obama's stance as of 4 years ago. Look it the fuck up. I'm not lying. What Romney said in this particular debate as it pertains to the issue of legal and illegal immigration is exactly, almost to the fucking letter, the stance on immigration that Obama had presented in the 2008 election. Romney then says that Obama couldn't do anything about passing his immigration reform even with the Democratic majority in the House and the Senate. This is true, but he omitted the fact that it was because the Republicans used an unprecedented amount of filibusters and stalling techniques to stop any Democratic-driven legislature that was presented in the first 2 years when the Senate and Obama had a Democratic supermajority. When, in theory, they could push through any fucking legislature they wanted to without consent of Republicans because they had enough votes to get a majority, they still pandered to the fucking Republicans, and each time the Democrats made a concession, the Republicans decided it wasn't quite good enough. Talk about a misrepresentation of facts and reality. And then he sits there and accuses, he being Romney, accuses Obama of not answering questions directly, when on the question of immigration, Romney did not in any way, shape, or form answer the question that was asked of him by the member of the town hall debate audience. Instead, he turned the issue onto Obama. At no point did he answer the question asked, and then had the audacity to say that Obama didn't answer the question afterwards. That is such a crock of bullshit. An absolute crock of bullshit. But I also call bullshit on Obama because the stance that he had 4 years ago, which is now Romney's stance, is not his current stance, which means he's a fucking flip-flopper as well. So no, even though it sounds like I'm presenting favoritism here, I'm not. Moving on. Then the debate turned to Libya, and a completely and totally unimportant question was asked by yet another media plant. Oh, I'm sorry, what just happened there? Anyway, Obama completely dodged the question at the beginning. And then pretty much lied his fucking ass off. But then Mittens goes on to even further in his response basically accuse Obama of not knowing that the Libya embassy attacks were going to happen, making sure as many times as possible to use the key phrases "an act of terror," buzzwords much, anyway, with some sort of shortfall on the president. What I'd like to know is if that Mittens decided that the Bush administration should have seen 9/11 coming. Oh, yes, I know, a lot of you are going to start screaming at me instantly and right now and in the comments section, "They're not the same thing! How dare you compare 9/11 to the Libya attacks? You're a fucking communist, socialist son of a bitch!" Whatever the fuck you want to think. I say to you cretins, don't ask me that question. Ask Mittens, because he's the one that made the general comparison. I thought one of the crowning moments of the debate is when the moderator called out Romney's lies. When Romney said it took Obama 14 days to label the Libya attacks as an act of terror, which is completely and totally untrue, and corrected the dignified senator publicly, and thus correcting a widespread lie propagated by Fox News, reminding Mittens that the rest of America that Obama did indeed refer to said acts as an act of terror, despite what the spin zone would have you believe directly after the fucking debate. They're quibbling on semantics. He did label it as an act of terror. Get the fuck over it, Mittens, and Republicans in general. Did he do enough? Fuck no! So once again, I am not supporting one or the other. What I'm telling you are facts and my impressions on the debate. These are my opinions. Later, Romney accuses Washington of not having gotten anything done on gun regulations. Even went so far as to accuse the legislation in the first 2 years of Obama's first term of not being bipartisan enough. Yeah, you see where this is going, I'm sure you do. When it was the Republicans, once again, who refused to compromise. Even when the Democrats had a majority and were still willing to compromise, even though they did not need to, as I had already stated, the butthurt Republicans still fought every single piece of legislation that the Dems put forth. They used filibusters, they used riders, they used tack-ons, they used every fucking means of diversion that they could possibly fucking think of. All the while, they were crying that the Democrats weren't being bipartisan enough, when in reality, the Democrats were bending over backwards and taking it up the ass to make Republicans happy and try to make that happen. And each time the Dems tried to give the Republicans an inch, the Republicans decided to take 5 fucking miles. Problem is that the Dems should have had a fucking spine and said, "Don't like it, fuck you," but were too busy trying to compromise with people who were unwilling to see their side of the issue. There comes a point in time where bipartisanism is completely and totally irrelevant if the opposing side refuses to fucking compromise. And now the reps want to say that the Dems couldn't compromise enough, and that's why we're where we are right now, economically, politically, socioeconomically, everything. What a bunch of fucking scumbags. Someone asked a question about shipping jobs overseas late in the debate, which Bain Capital had a major part of in many times. Romney's shell companies outsourced so many jobs, and yet now he's acting like China is the problem in his response. Them not playing by the rules, to fucking quote Mittens, is the problem. And then he says job growth is low because unemployment is high. I expect more fucking intelligent statements out of third graders. Yes, of course. Unemployment is high, which means job growth is low. The two are directly fucking correlated. What fucking point was he trying to make? fucking insipid moron. Moron. All I want you people to realize is two simple facts. Number one, Romney is a fucking liar. I care about 100% of the American people was a statement that came out of Romney's mouth in his ending statement. Keep fucking lying, Mittens. Keep fucking lying. Maybe enough of the Fox News viewers might actually believe you. Obama is a spineless fucking puppet who preached to us hope and change and yet has provided none of either. Yes, there is a list online of about 100 and some odd different pieces of legislation that he had managed to push through despite Republican resistance that benefit the American people. But for the most part, almost every single fucking thing he promised he would do 4 years ago has not been done. Obama is a fucking liar. And the American media would have you believe that these are the only two fucking candidates that we have to choose from. We're left with the choice between, according to them, a fucking puppet and a fucking liar. Unfortunately, the liar is a puppet, and the puppet is a liar. I don't want to live on this fucking planet anymore.
Hey, did you get all that, man?